G'day, it's James here from Espresso Resto, where restored is the new. Today we're going to be looking at another classic Italian heat exchanger machine, the Livia 90s. Now if it looks familiar, it's because essentially it's a Bezzera BZ99. Here in Australia it would have been sold as, you would have had Bezzeras more commonly. This is a kind of unique model and I'll tell you a bit about it in the video. So this particular machine was actually likely to be given as some sort of incentive or gift as part of a catering supplies company. There's some branding on the back of the machine that actually indicates a brand that's no longer existing in the hotel catering industry. And it's the Pasquini, not a Bezzera. So I think it's likely that the machine was purchased in a bulk lot out of from Pasquini and then given away as a gift. But essentially the Pasquini, which is sold mainly in the US, is made by Bezzera in Italy. So all of the components pretty much within the machine are exactly the same. So if you need spares, you'd be looking up Bezzera BZ99 and you'll be getting this thing going like a Bezzera. So into the machine. So what is in a Bezzera BZ99 or a Pasquini Livia 90s? The S on the Livia 90s is S for semi-auto. It's a semi-automatic machine in that you have to drive the duration of your shot. There's no sort of timed or volumetric shots. So you've basically got a 1.5 litre copper heat exchanger boiler in the back here, which is plenty of power, similar to your Expo bars and other machines like that. In a vertical configuration, you've got the steam one here, which is just a swivel. You've got a hot water tap, both controlled by these knobs here and here. On-off switch, a light that indicates when the element is on and off, a light that remains on the whole time, it seems, regardless of whether you're brewing. I think it's just another indication that the machine is on. Down here, now this isn't standard on every BZ99. I think only some of the BZ99s get the pressure gauge, the boiler pressure gauge. So the boiler pressure gauge basically gives you an analog to the temperature of the boiler. So if the boiler is hotter, the pressure is higher. If the boiler is cooler, the pressure is lower. So it's essentially the boiler gauge does allow you to surf your ideal brewing temperature. So you're waiting for that boiler to hit a certain point, then you're going to hit the brew button. Also, you know when there's plenty of pressure in the boiler that you're probably going to get a bit more steam at that time. That said, the recovery on this machine even still is pretty good. With 1.5 litres, you are able to cater for a decent size house party or dinner party. In the back, we've got a really reasonably large tank, about a 3 litre water tank, which is ample. There's also a little sensor in there that will shut off the heat element if the water level drops below a certain level, which is good, so you won't run if you leave the machine on, you won't end up running the boiler dry and burning out the element. So that's a good feature. Drip tray is down here. It is a little shallow. You just need to be a little careful that you don't overfill, because you do need to tilt it just a bit to get it out. So, it's probably good practice after you've done your shots of the day. Just empty out the drip tray so that you know that it's empty for the next time you run the machine. So why don't we get in and make a coffee? So let's just get this down under here. Looking here, the element is off currently and the boiler pressure is slowly dropping. We're getting to the point where the element's going to start cycling on again. It's probably a slightly lower temperature brew. So let's have a go. It's not too bad. Usual amount of noise for a vibration pump. Not too bad. Not too much rattling around in anything machine. There we go. Plenty of steam there. It doesn't have a insulated steam wand like a Cool Touch wand, so it does get hot in the metal. There is a nice little rubber gripper here so you can move the wand. It is swiveling only sort of in one axis. This one comes with 4-hole tip, but someone, one of the previous owners has stopped up a few of the holes, and so we're down to 2 holes. There was an extra one added for a particular angle. Like any decent size heat exchanger, this is plenty of steam power, and we're rolling the milk fast. It will take you a little while to get used to this because there's plenty of power. It's no little Gaggia Classic or something like that. Like, that's done. That would be a third of the time of a Gaggia or something small like that. So when you're moving from a little single boiler to a heat exchanger like this is one of the things you do have to get used to. It will take you a little bit longer to get used to this much steam power. I've got quite a bit of milk foam, so this is going to be a bit more of a cappuccino in a glass here. Yeah, I've gone a bit much foam there, you can see. There you go. But yeah, again, practice makes perfect. I've made a couple of coffees on this machine, but I can tell from my results there where I'm getting quite a bit of foam building that I probably need to do a little bit more steam practice. So there you go, that's the Livia 90s from Pasquini. Quite unique here in Australia to get a Pasquini machine. You don't seem to get them too regularly, more of these Bezzera. So if you're after something that's a little bit different and people sort of go, well, what's that kind of espresso machine you got on your bench? You can say, it's a Pasquini. So yeah, getting something old like this restored. I've replaced a number of the O-rings in here and it's running like a dream. So until next time, keep caffeinated.